What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tru Element 78 in the building with.
Your one and only reigning, defending Mondo Lucha Hall of Famer, the X-Man, Xavier Mustafa.
And everybody's favorite narcissist, the natural Chris Black.
And today is January 13th, 2021, and you're tuned into a very special edition of Saturday Night Slamcasters, where we're going to run down our predictions for Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill 2021 pay-per-view, which is happening this Saturday, January 16th at 7 p.m., and you can order that for $39.99 over on the Fight TV app. I want to thank all you guys for checking us out and rocking with us. Be sure to ring that bell and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any videos that come out on our YouTube channel. And also be sure to subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcast from. It is completely separate content. We do our predictions and movie reviews and television reviews over here on the YouTube channel, and we review the actual product of wrestling and other discussion over on our podcast. So be sure to subscribe to us wherever you find this podcast and YouTube. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to my cohort, the one and only Xavier Mustafa, to run down this pay-per-view for us, and we'll give you guys our thoughts and predictions. And yeah, go ahead.
All right, as your Impact concierge, I don't know if that's the right word. Let's start out with the crowning of the new Knockout Tag Team Championship for the women. Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steele taking on Havoc and Nevaeh in the finals. Who do you guys got?
I think I'm going to go with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele because from what I've seen, they've kind of been spinning their wheels a little bit, and they need something more to do on the show right now. So I'll probably go with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele.
Well, I'm going to go with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele, even though Havoc and Nevaeh definitely has a size advantage. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele's just a couple of itty bitties, but I don't know, they pack a hard punch and they are a pretty good team together. So will they crown those two first? I don't know. Is this the first tag team women's championship?
I think they had it back in the TNA era.
They had it back in the day, and then they retired it, and now they're bringing it back.
Okay.
I think WWE took all their women, so they was like, we got to get rid of this.
So, yeah, I want Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele to win, but part of me is thinking they're gonna let Havoc and Nevaeh get it, but I'm going with Kiera Hogan and Tasha. You know, Tasha's bae. So.
Yeah, I'm going with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steele too, especially after Havoc and Nevaeh kind of hemmed them up on the little closet door on Impact this week. I was like, dang, they totally just hold them out like that. So they got to get that win back. All right, the next up is going to be our cinematic match of the night. It absolutely has to be because you have the great Ethan Page, great worker. I love this kid. He's going against his own alter ego, the Karate Man. I love Chris Black's look on his face, so wish y'all could see it.
This is going to be... I want to see how they pull this off. I'm actually kind of intrigued. I don't know, excited is definitely not the word, but intrigued. I want to see how they pull this off. I'm going with the Karate Man.
See, this is when I wish that Jim Cornette reviewed Impact shows. But I think they've both come to the consensus that they refuse to watch the show. So
I think he'll make an exception. Someone's gonna slide him this match.
I'm gonna go with the Karate Man just because it's so insane of a concept.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Karate Man too. I just wondered, are they just doing this because of the popularity of Cobra Kai?
Pretty much.
You know, at first when I heard the Karate Man, before I found out it's the same dude, I thought it was going to be the question mark. I thought they just, I don't know, christened him the Karate Man.
Baltimore from NWA.
Yeah,
there is. You know, and I will give Ethan Page some credit. Like, he sold me on the match in the promo. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but
Like I said, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about this one.
all right. So on this past episode of Impact Wrestling, we had a match with Kimber Lee with Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie with Rosemary on the outside. At the ringside, Rosemary attempted an assault on Perazo, but the artist formerly known as Susie, aka Sue Young, simply known now as Susan, attacked the demon assassin. Back in the ring, Valkyrie became distracted by the fight on the ramp, allowing Lee to score the pinfall victory. This is before we have Ty Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockout Championship title. There we go. Shouldn't spit that out for some reason. What do you guys got for this one?
I've made it no secret I'm not the biggest Ty Valkyrie fan, so I'm hoping Deonna Purrazzo retains. And I still think it's too early for her to be losing the belt. And Ty Valkyrie's had that belt numerous times. I don't see how Deonna Purrazzo loses this match, especially because she has a whole crew backing her up, and I don't think Rosemary is going to be effective at all. So
As much as I like Ty Valkyrie, I don't want to see Deonna Purrazzo lose it this soon. So I'm kind of agree with you on that one. I'm gonna go with Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, I'm also going with Deonna. I don't think that she should lose. And I don't know. It seemed like Taya Valkyrie has had her time to shine, and maybe it's time for Deonna Purrazzo to kind of get a little more limelight.
Alrighty, so third clean sweep for Deonna Purrazzo. All right, next up, we had a tag match between Raju and Chris Bay versus Manic and Suicide. We got Raju absolutely convinced that Manic is TJP, so they're doing that whole deal because TJP is not supposed to get any title shots. So every time somebody comes up with a mask, he swears it's TJP, and so you got the whole Manic and what's the other guy character's name? Suicide, where he's freaking out, always thinking it's TJP. So that's leading up to the match. It's going to be Manic defending the X Division Championship in a triple threat match against Chris Bay and Rohit Raju. I personally, I wouldn't mind either of the heels winning this, but if I had to pick one, I would like to see Chris Bay with another run. I don't think he had a really good run with the championship last time. I think it was too short.
yeah,
That's my opinion.
the way their tag team match ended on this week's episode, I felt like they gave Chris Bay the win, or they gave him the pinfall. He's going in with momentum, and I think they're doing that to throw us off. I actually think Chris Bay is going to take it. I think that they're going to get his title run right this time. So I'm going to go with Chris Bay.
Chris Bay.
You know, the more and more I see Raju, I'm beginning to like him a lot. I think he's got a lot of charisma. I think he's got a lot of promise. Definitely has the ability, but I don't think it's going to be his night. I am not 100%. I agree with you guys having Chris Bay win. I must have missed the title change. Maybe Mustafa, you can help me with that. How did Manic beat Raju for the title? And when did he beat him?
I want to say it was one of the random pay-per-views they had in December. Okay. It was one of the ones that was like on the Impact app.
All right. So I think it would be too soon for Manic to lose. So quite possibly TJP gets unmasked, but he still retains. So I'm going with Manic.
All right. I'm not even going to talk about the lead up to this match because this match was like the shits. But we're going to get Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doring versus Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, and Cousin Jake in an old school rules match.
Jesus Christ. Go away, Tommy.
I love you, Tommy Dreamer. I know you are all over this. Come on, bro. Y'all need to find something else to do. It's like Tommy Dreamer's having almost the same match every pay-per-view, just with somebody different. But I guess I'm going to go with the heels on this one.
I'm
Just
definitely
because
going.
I do like Eric Young being in a faction.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the heels on this. You know what? Actually, no, I'm gonna go with the faces on this because if the heels win, I think you put Eric Young back into the title picture, and I think they're trying to keep him away from that right now. So I'm actually gonna go with Dreamer now. I think Eric Young could use the lose and they get their heat back following the match.
Hell no. It's an old school match, old school rules match. The heels are going to cheat. They're going to do something that's not quite quote unquote old school to get the victory. So I'm going with the heels.
And what's the old school rules match? Because they really didn't clarify that. So if you throw somebody over the top rope, is that disqualification?
Oh,
That's the first thing I thought about. But all right. So then we had a match with Tennille Dashwood versus Rosemary. Dashwood worked over Rosemary into a sling blade, allowed her to make her comeback. Rake to the eyes, saw Dashwood down her opponent with the underhook suplex. Rosemary dodged the spotlight kick and delivered a clothesline. As Caleb, who was on the outside, looked to interfere, Crazy Steve appeared and reuniting Crazy Steve and Rosemary. Pulled him off the apron. Amid all the chaos, Rosemary sprayed Dashwood with the hairspray and put her away for the win. This is leading to a next tag team match now, with Tennille Dashwood teaming with Caleb, with a K, to take on Rosemary and Crazy Steve.
Well,
you got to make sure when you say Caleb, you say Caleb with a K.
all right. Well, hairspray isn't going to be effective on a blind man if you spray him in the eye. So it's not going to work. Not going to work on Crazy Steve. No, he admitted that he's blind. Damn it. So I think that, and I also don't think you just bring Crazy Steve back to lose either. So I think Rosemary and Crazy Steve are gonna take this match. And to answer your question from the previous prediction, old school rules means there are no disqualifications and no countouts.
How the fuck is that old school?
ECW rules.
Oh.
So
it can't say ECW rules.
So it was no DQ before they made rules? Okay, I guess that makes sense.
It's just a street fight.
The rules before they made the rules.
So I gave you guys my thoughts, so go ahead.
All right. My first thought is that Tennille Dashwood and Caleb is going to get their heat back. But I don't know. Rosemary and Crazy Steve is kind of an over combination, so I'm a little bit undecided on this one. I guess it all depends where they're going. I mean, if Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with the K, if they get the victory, then you can kind of continue this little feud, possibly with like Crazy Steve and Caleb with the K, and then another match with Rosemary and Tennille Dashwood. So I think my money is on the heels, Tennille Dashwood and Caleb.
I'm putting my money on the baby faces. I can see either way with this one, but I'm putting it on Rosemary and Crazy Steve. So we got 2 for Rosemary and Crazy Steve, 1 for Tennille Dashwood, and Caleb with a K. Now, he's not listed to do anything. However, I feel like Moose will be somewhere on this show. Basically, he has been feuding with a guy named Matthew Palmer, but you really can't say feuding with Matthew Palmer because Matthew Palmer is obviously local talent and is just there to be destroyed. But he actually beat Moose, which led to a match where Moose had to beat him within 3 minutes. And Moose pretty much beat him up for all 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 59 seconds, and then he was able to like roll out of the ring and get the victory. But then he just destroyed him on this episode of Impact Wrestling. So I think this program is done. He also has a title shot coming up at some time with Rich Swann, which I don't know when that's going to get cashed in, but who knows what that guy's doing. But then we got our main event.
Hold on, you forgot a match.
What match?
Eddie
Barbed
Edwards and
wire
Sammy
massacre.
Callahan, barbed wire massacre match.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I absolutely hated the setup for this match. The most contrived setup for a match I've ever seen in my life. Like, why would he? Never mind. Anyway,
Go ahead.
so
Go
we're gonna
ahead.
have
Go
Sammy
ahead. No.
Callahan
Don't.
versus Eddie Edwards.
No. Tell
an
us.
exploding barbed wire, cage of fire, IT match.
No.
And yeah,
I want you to go into detail.
I'm so sick of these two.
Tell the people what happened.
They've been wrestling each other on Impact Wrestling for like the last 3 years. I think people are over it at this point.
Is it bad that I'm kind of looking forward to this match? I think these two are going to beat the shit out of each other.
Well, see, here's the thing: is you don't watch the product, so you haven't seen them wrestle each other a million times.
So what you're saying
is WWE method. The less you watch, the more you'll enjoy it when you do.
So what you're saying is Chris Black is coming into this like Randy Orton and John Cena wrestling in 2020. Oh my God, I gotta see that.
Right.
I don't think it's been done to death like that.
No. Randy Orton and Triple H in the main event on Raw. I'm there.
Hey.
So Eddie Edwards and Sammy Callahan will meet in a barbed wire massacre match at Hard to Kill this Saturday. The pair revived their long-running feud with the match on last week's episode of Impact. But rather than settle their differences once and for all, it ended with Edwards jumped by Callahan and Ken Shamrock after they kidnapped Alicia Edwards and her behind the fence on Impact this week. Callahan cut a promo about meeting Edwards in barbed wire massacre at Hard to Kill, playing up the violent nature of the match. And then Callahan tweeted, barbed wire massacre, 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 barbed wire massacre. Then about 15 bloody teardrops this Saturday on pay-per-view.
I must have missed it. What kind of match is this?
Barbed wire massacre.
I got Sammy for this one.
Based on this week's promo package, yeah, I'll probably go with Sammy.
I want Eddie Edwards to win so they can move on.
I want Eddie Edwards to win.
That's not happening.
I want Eddie Edwards to win, but I think Sammy is still on that. He can get whatever he wants out of Impact because of all the favors he's done for them for the past 2 years.
I mean, he just blindly just ran back there, and like he didn't know Ken Shamrock was there. Like they've done this before. And then anyway. All right, now we get to the main event, and we all just got done watching AEW, and I was hoping that there'd be a lot of Impact bleed over on Dynamite, but there was not. The only thing we got is we got a 6-man tag on AEW with Kenny Omega, who originally made it seem like it was going to be the Young Bucks he was going to team with. But then when him and Don Callis got outside to the ring, they announced that it was going to be the Good Brothers. So we ended up getting the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega versus Danny Limelight. What's that kid?
Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr.
and Gibson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only kind of bleed over we got from the Impact Don Callis thing. Match happens. Match ends with them hitting, what's the Good Brothers finishers?
Magic Killer.
Yeah, Magic Killer, which looked devastating. I'm not even going to lie. That's probably the best one I've seen. And probably because the guy they picked up was 103 pounds wet. But, whatever. Hit him with that. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Then a whole fight breaks out with everybody, which I will say, I will give AEW some credit. This is the first time I think they booked a brawl correctly. And I actually love that you actually got to see Don Callis actually getting his man out of there like, hey, we don't need this. And, Omega kind of wanted to get in, but he's like, nope, come with me. We got to go. But On Impact, we had Rich Swann in the singles match versus Carl Anderson, which is really, really good. Match ended up with Rich Swann winning. I believe that was with a roll-up. Yep, with a roll-up. And then when they went to the bus where everybody, Kenny Omega and Don Callis was watching, all of a sudden the bus is empty. Then you cut to where you saw the Motor City Machine Guns, who was watching the match and celebrating that Rich Swann won. All of a sudden, Kenny Omega and all them come in, start giving them the hands. Rich Swann comes in, he starts giving hands. And the show ends up with, all of them brawling. It was kind of not the greatest brawl in the world, but this leading to the main event, which is going to be Kenny Omega teaming with the Impact Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, taking on Impact Champion Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns. What do you guys got for this one?
Go ahead, Chris Black, because I got a diatribe I'm gonna go on.
Okay. So my gut instinct says that Omega and the Good Brothers are going to win, and I have a bold prediction that Kenny Omega is going to pin Rich Swann to set up a match sometime between those two in the future. Now, after saying that, that'll be straight up disrespectful to Rich Swann to lose on his show. But if they're going to go ahead with this Kenny Omega collecting belts gimmick, he's going to have to pick up some wins against other champs. So I think Omega's pinning Rich Swann in the 6-man tag match. It's a bold prediction, but I said what I said.
Okay. As an avid AEW watcher and as the person who reports on AEW for this show, this is like as much stuff as we talk about WCW and WWE and that invasion angle and the wasted potential there. Everybody keeps saying be patient. They're doing a slow build. But when you have the go-home show of Impact and so little happens and that pertains to the crossover, and then AEW is pretty much the final word before the pay-per-view, and there's so little bleed over into the first. This should be such a bigger deal. Impact should be doing bigger numbers for it. AEW should be doing bigger numbers for it. And the only crossover that we've seen is Kenny Omega on Impact and the Good Brothers over on AEW. Last week they beat the hell out of Jon Moxley. This week they were beating the hell out of Jon Moxley. And you would think that Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns would maybe come out and make the save somehow, some way. Nope. Who comes out? The Death Triangle comes out to save Jon Moxley. Where does that connection come from?
Yeah, that was random as hell.
Now, would I be interested in seeing Penta and Ray Phoenix take on the Good Brothers? Yeah, I think it'd be a clash of styles, definitely, but I think it'd be a good match because I think they're just gonna both just give it to each other. Like I think Ray Phoenix and Machine Gun or whatever. I think those two will have a great back and forth in a match like that. But like I said, this has just been so much wasted potential. This has been going on for a month and a half now, and every episode of Impact is Kenny Omega on a bus and then a beatdown. And then, like I said, last week was the first time that we saw the Good Brothers or anybody from Impact make their way over to AEW. So I'm very disappointed. I don't feel they built this up. Even on tonight's show, it was in a fleeting mention that Kenny Omega was going to be over on Impact. Like, it should be a much bigger deal to AEW that our champion is going somewhere else and fighting. Like that should be being talked about on commentary throughout the show. That should be the common thread. But the only time that we even heard anything about him going to wrestling this weekend was during his introduction, where they do all the in North Carolina, all of that stuff. Such a disappointment. I wanted to look forward to watching this pay-per-view. I'm not excited for it. I'm not really looking forward to it because like I said, this should have been the thing that was built up. I saw Lance Archer made some comments about invading Impact, but right now he's not involved in this storyline, so he has no reason to show up there.
I wonder if it's a thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. I wonder if it's a thing. Maybe it's because I know Impact tapes a lot of their shows, and I think they do like 5 or 6 tapings per show. Maybe something happened where they. No, that wouldn't make any sense either.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I heard somebody. Sorry, Chris. I saw somebody else try to make that excuse because they were like, Impact is taped. Like, Impact had all their December shows taped like in November, so the whole Kenny Omega stuff would have been filmed like right when he won the title. He would have been there for all those tapings, which is why everything. That's why they're always on the bus and everything kind of looks the same. But still, that doesn't stop anybody. Well, actually, you know what? Let me take that back. Maybe I gotta cut them slack due to COVID and travel restrictions because they film in Canada. So, but even then, the Good Brothers.
I thought they were filming in Nashville.
Oh, I thought they were filming, huh?
In Canada?
Yeah, because they moved all.
They film in Canada. Sometimes they film in Nashville.
Okay.
Recently, they're doing a lot of filming in Nashville.
Okay, I didn't know they were moving back and forth. And it, like I said, like I wanted to give them that excuse, but I couldn't even give them that excuse because the Good Brothers were able to show up. So just because Impact did a lot of tapings, that does not stop. That actually gives Impact wrestlers more opportunity to make appearances on AEW.
Sure.
Doesn't make any sense at all. So, like I said, I wanted to be hyped for this match. It kind of like Kenny Omega shouldn't be losing. So I'm going to say that Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers are going to win. And it's probably going to be by nefarious means. And they're probably going to go overboard and keep getting the heat and beat the hell out of Rich Swann. And hopefully then we get a crossover or a bleed over in the AEW. But worst invasion ever. Like,
do you think when Omega and them go over, do you think there's going to be some type of reaction from the Impact locker room?
Like I said that's why I said I think that they win, but they don't stop beating down the Motor City Machine Guns, and maybe it clears out the Impact locker room. Who knows? Maybe that's why Moose doesn't have anything to do. Maybe Moose comes out and runs up on Kenny Omega, and that's going to be the next thing that they do.
Oh, speaking of Moose, who I want to see Moose go up against if they want to do some cross-promotion stuff, give them Lance Archer. Although, I would hate to see Lance Archer take another L for whatever reason. Because if he goes over to Impact, Impact will gain nothing by allowing Archer to get the win over Moose.
I want to see Moose versus Orange Cassidy.
Oh, hell.
One thing I want to say, too, is maybe they need to work together more. And what I mean by that is, I know AEW is about to move into a different building because they can't continue to be outside because of the weather. If they can get a place that doesn't look like Daly's, because you can obviously tell you're at Daly's. Isn't that the name of the venue?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You can obviously tell you there when you look at it. If they can find some type of building where they can easily switch between an Impact set and AEW set, and actually kind of do their recordings. I don't say they're necessarily together, but kind of side by side. And that way all your talent is there at one time and things like that. I think that will probably be a better way to go. Because there has to be some type of either travel restrictions or something, the reason why we have not seen it look better, especially on the Impact side of it. I mean, at least on the AEW side, I mean, you got the Good Brothers popping up out of nowhere last week, and then everything looked a whole lot better, more prepared, and everything on Dynamite than it does Impact Wrestling. But let me shut up so we don't make this podcast hour and a half about how we would rebook this.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Like I just said, I just think that there's been a lot of wasted potential, and there's a lot of opportunity there, but I think that a lot of that has already been squandered. I think nobody really cares anymore because it doesn't seem like they care. So, you guys got anything else? Otherwise, go ahead and hit them with your social medias. Let them know about. We did. We'll even do a special church announcements at the end of this because we do have a major announcement from Xavier Mustafa. So, like I said, if you guys got anything else, go ahead, speak your piece. But if not, go ahead and let them know what's up.
Legacy Pro Wrestling will be returning to the Root River Center on February 6th. That is a Saturday for the show called The Next Generation, and tickets are $20. Tickets will be on sale by the end of this week. So by Saturday, January 16th, I believe it is, the tickets should be up so you can purchase them. You can catch me at Xavier Mustafa on Facebook and on Twitter. You can also find me at XM Cinema on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram, and wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. Looking forward to the next Legacy Pro Wrestling show. If you're hearing this, oh no, you are going to get it before Saturday. My birthday's on Friday. I'm hitting the big 40, but I'm not an old man. Other than that, you can find me at The Natural Chris Black on Instagram and on Facebook, and at _natural_CB on Twitter. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, The Natural Chris Black, where I have recently put up, well, not recently, my last video was the Wrestle Kingdom review. I think I might throw something up this weekend because they will be starting their Road to New Beginnings, which is their next big show coming up. I believe it's February 11th. So besides that, there's been a lot of, news that's been breaking. I know Kota Ibushi has been talking about combining the two titles, which I'm not too happy about, but I guess I can give my opinions when I post that show. So be sure to subscribe, like, do the normal stuff, build my numbers up. Still at 4 people.
Are they going to combine it and give it a new name, or?
I don't know. I mean, what would you call it? The IWGP
Mega Championship
World?
The IWGP Mega World.
Because I feel like if you're going to combine it and make it one of the belts, then that's lame.
I don't feel like they should be losing the Intercontinental title, but that's just me, especially with the U.S. title kind of out of commission. But that's another topic for another show.
And if you guys want to catch Tru Element, just go to Pornhub, search for Dirty Grandmas.
I thought that was you.
Anyways, like Chris Black said, his birthday is coming up, and so you guys are getting this after the show, so be sure to bring the pins to the next show. He's gonna probably be needing those going forward for incontinence. But anyways, you can catch me at Slamcaster TE78 over on Twitter. Like I said at the beginning of the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you're notified when new episodes go up. We're going to be doing the worst pay-per-views or worst wrestling shows of all time, our top 8 coming up, or at least a top 8 of those shows, as well as Dark Side of the Ring Season 3 this year. And we're also going to be reviewing a bunch of movies starring or having supporting roles by professional wrestlers, everything from Jetsons and Flintstone movies all the way to Dean Ambrose's Cage Fighter movies. So be sure to subscribe over here so you don't miss out on any of that, as well as find us wherever you get your podcast from and check out our commentary on the current product of professional wrestling, as well as interviews. But other than that, we up out of here. Holla at your boys. Come get slammed. Peace.